Would you rather have someone in your life who is a hard-working hustler or someone who is lazy and righteous? Which one would you prefer to have? Because everybody's mindset is different. I'm going to tell you, I'd rather deal with the hard-working hustler, and I'm going to tell you why. When I was little, I used to be around a lot of older people. And, being from the South, a lot of you who don't know, in the deep South, we have a lot of colorful euphemisms, a lot of sayings when we address things in life. And it's automatically understood by the people around them as to what it meant. But there were some things when I was little I could not comprehend until after those people have departed this earth. And now that I'm getting older, I haven't figured out what they were trying to tell me. Some of that stuff went over my head as a child, but I get it now. And there was one thing that my dearly departed mother used to say on a few occasions. She used to say, she said, baby, I prefer you don't do anything wrong, but if you do something wrong, do it right. And I think I've already addressed this in one of my previous audios. I'm not sure, but I'm bringing it up again. In other words, if you're going to do something, be good at it. Now, I prefer you don't do anything that's wrong, but if you're going to do something wrong, do it right. Do it correctly. Don't be sloppy. Do your research. If you're going to do XYZ, be the best XYZer there is. And that's the truth. And that's a good philosophy to take as far as a work ethic is concerned. If you have a work ethic that's questionable, you don't show up when you're supposed to show up. When you do, you're not communicative. You don't listen. You're just outright rebellious. But then when it's time to get paid for whatever it is you do, whether it's by the hour or by the piece, all of a sudden you're there front and center. They don't match, people. So I know some people that deem themselves as self-employed sole proprietors. And some of y'all already know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get into the different fields because you already know. But I'm going to tell you something. From the time that they get up in the morning until the time they go to bed at night, they out there making it happen. And guess what? They don't have any problems in their world. Okay? They don't have any problems in their world getting what they need because they're willing to work for it. I'm talking about work ethic here. They don't have time to worry about what anybody thinks and this, that, and the other. They're doing what they feel in their mind to take care of themselves. Me personally, I wouldn't do any of these things. Some of them I have done. Wasn't my taste. My conscience couldn't handle it. And then in some cases, I just didn't have the nerve. But they worked hard at it. I continuously pray that they do see the light and start to use their powers for good instead of evil. But that is going to happen in divine timing. I can't make anybody do it. Then we got these other people on the flip side of that. These are people who are righteous and judgmental. They do everything according to the book as far as their conduct is concerned, and they're a little bit judgmental because they think they're right all the time, but they're lazy as hell. I'm going to give you an example of these types of people. You know that one person in the family that's always got something to say about the Lord and the Bible this and the church that and everything else, but every time, but they don't have any money. They've been living on government assistance all their life, not because of a disability, but because they haven't even worked or don't want to work. They got excuses. They got excuses for doing everything. If they do keep their doctor's appointments and have diagnosis, they don't take the medicine, they don't diet, they don't exercise. They have limited education and not trying to get any more education. But every time you talk to them, you say, hey, how you doing? And they're talking about how good the Lord is. You don't have to tell me how good the Lord is. Why do you have to tell me how good the Lord is when I already knew that way before I picked up the phone and called you? I don't mind it as a salutation, but some of y'all don't believe the shit that you're saying. Stop using, I said this before, You're using the creators as a smokescreen for your own problem. Them problems are still going to be there before you hang up the phone. You sit there and then they spend the whole conversation talking about everything else and everybody else and ain't addressing the elephant in the room. You still living in the raggedy, roach-infested, rodent-infested homes. You may have a minor medical condition, but it doesn't prevent you from working, even if it's part-time. You're so lazy, you don't even have your name on a list for better housing. You're so dependent on those few little dollars that you get every single month, $700, $1,000 a month. This is 2022. Let me give you a quick economic lesson. In the past 10 years, our gas prices has tripled. Just put gas in your car. When I first moved into this apartment in 2018, I remember going to the 7-Eleven and buying a bag of Cheetos because that's my guilty pleasure. I like to get a bag of Cheetos every now and then. I bought a bag of Cheetos, and that bag of Cheetos was $1.59. Well, guess what? In 2022, that same bag of Cheetos has 10% less product in the bag. The bag is technically a few quarters of an ounce smaller, and now it's $2.19 for that same bag of Cheetos. So you're going to sit here and tell me that you're balling out of control because you get between $700 and $1,000 a month. You're not. You're delusional. You're trying to run in circles with people who work to pay the taxes to support people like you. You want to have something to say about everybody else and how great you are and how the Lord is blessing you. And that's all you do all freaking day. You'll stay on Facebook. You're on Facebook every half an hour. You can tell when the people who have jobs and people who don't have jobs on social media, by the way. If they online every 30 minutes, every hour, they either have a job where they just don't give a damn and people just like to pay them for nothing, or they don't have a job at all. Got something to say about everything and everybody, but when you look at where they are in their life, they never talk about how they're trying to improve their own situation because they're not trying to. So the choice is yours. I'm not saying that you have to deal with either one of these people, but I'm just saying if the rubber met the road and you were in a crisis, I'm speaking from a crisis standpoint, would you rather deal with the hard-working hustler that works from sunrise to sunset and make things happen to help get you out of your situation, or rather you wait on this lazy person that's never done anything for themselves? How the hell they gonna help you? They don't have anything to give you, and they darn sure don't have any resources. And if they have any resources, why aren't they using it? Some of these people have resources that are free that most of us got to pay for. I know I had to pay for mine when I was in crisis. There were some resources that were free that were given to me, but they're free to a certain point. Then after that, you got to come out of pocket. And I literally went into consumer debt trying to do it because I was not stopping the process. I had made too many strides. Some people would have gave up when their wallet got empty. No, I said, I don't care if I get into debt. It don't matter to me. I can pay off the bills later. This is my mindset we're talking about. When you're in crisis, who would you rather deal with? Who do you think is going to take action and help you out of that crisis? The hard-working hustler or the person who's sitting up doing nothing? Who are you going to turn to? There are many times in my life I was going through crisis and I made the mistake of going to people during crisis and talking to people who ain't done shit, ain't been shit, ain't trying to do shit, and they ain't got nothing to offer you. And then they wind up before the end of the conversation, all of a sudden the crisis you're dealing with, you listening to their crisis, taking up all your time, and you're in a crunch. I learned a very valuable lesson about that, and I think I spoke in a previous audio about when you're going through something, be careful who you air your problems to, because you might be wasting your breath and your energy, and you may not have time for it. There may be deadlines you have to deal with, and it could be a matter of life and death. So I say this to say this. Just because someone is getting theirs in a way that may not agree with you, at least they're taking action. Continue to pray that they will channel that energy in a positive way to help other people in a way that won't create disaster. Pray for their souls, because they've already got the motivation. They've already got the initiative, hands down. But once they channel that into something good and positive, oh wow, how many lives that they could change. It's the mindset. They have a hard-working mindset. They just working hard with the wrong things for the wrong things, but at least they got a hard-working mindset. See that person sitting over there, the lazy? They might not have ever had a mark on their record or done anything shady in their life, but they're lazy. Laziness is a mindset. That doesn't go away overnight. That's a come when I deal with lazy people, I don't even try. Because that's something in their head, especially when they know they could be doing more. You can't talk laziness out of somebody. You cannot talk laziness out of somebody. So when you're in a state of crisis, these people do not need to be privy to anything going on with you when you're in a state of crisis. You need to get as many active people out there on the ground, soldiers fighting, weapons in hand with you to fight whatever battle that you need to fight. You need some warriors. So you need to decide, who are you going to deal with? People who look good on paper, or maybe not so good, but don't do anything? Or people who have maybe a blemish here or there, but are constantly moving? Who do you want in your camp? Because crises come. They come in life. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys to it. Have a great day.